simple present uses المضارع البسيط الاستعمالات. متى نستعمل المضارع البسيط؟ When do we use the simple present? We use it to talk about facts, which means something that is generally known to be true. نستعمل المضارع البسيط لنتحدث عن حقيقة. For example, the sun rises from the east. الشمس تشرق من الشرق. Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. Elephant eats. Elephants eat grass. They never eat meat. تأكل الفيلة العشب ولا تأكل اللحم أبدا. The sky is blue. It isn't green. السماء زرقاء. 2 and 2 make 4. 2 مع 2 يساوي 4. A situation that we think is more or less permanent. So we use the simple present to talk about a situation that is more or less permanent. ونستعمله أيضا عندما نتحدث عن شيء ما واقعي. For example, مثلا she works in a bank. يعني هي تعمل في بنك، ليست تعمل في مكان آخر بل في بنك. He is married. They have 2 children. He lives in Coventry. We also use the simple present to talk about habits or things that we do regularly. We often use adverbs of frequency in this case. Like, for example, always, never, sometimes, usually, often, rarely, regularly, occasionally. ونستعمل المضارع البسيط للتعبير عن أو عندما نتحدث عن أفعال نقوم بها دائما وبانتظام أو عن عادات تدخل في نظامنا الروتيني. وعادة نستعمله مع adverbs of frequency مثل always, never, sometimes يعني دائما، قد، بعض الأحيان إلى آخره. Example, Ali always plays football on Tuesday. He is always angry. She is never late. They sometimes eat at a restaurant. He usually calls her at 10 p.m. He often eats spinach. She occasionally goes to the cinema. We also talk about actions in the present taking place one after another. So we use the simple present to talk about actions in the present taking place one after another. For example, she has a breakfast and then she goes into the bathroom to take a shower. وأيضا نستعمل المضارع البسيط لنتحدث عن أحداث متتالية في الحاضر. مثلا she has a breakfast and then she goes into the bathroom to take a shower. Another use for the simple present is that we use it to talk about actions set by a timetable or a schedule. Although the action takes place in the future, it takes place regularly and is set by a timetable. Example, the train leaves at 9 p.m. So the leaves here is in the simple present, but the meaning is the future. The film begins at 8 o'clock tonight. Again, we use the simple present to talk about the future. The lesson starts in 2 minutes. It starts in the simple present, but the meaning is in the future. ونستعمل الحاضر ونستعمل المضارع البسيط لنعبر عن أحداث ستقع قريبا في المستقبل أو ستقع في المستقبل القريب. نصرف في الحاضر ونحن نتحدث عن المستقبل. We also use the simple present with verbs expressing states, possession, senses, emotions, and mental activity. So we use the simple form and not the progressive with these verbs. For example, I like pizza. My sister prefers tea to coffee. She doesn't understand me. I don't believe him. What does it mean? Do you hear that sound? ونستعمل المضارع البسيط مع الأفعال التي تعبر عن الحالة أو الملكية أو المشاعر والحالات الذهنية. We use the simple present in conditional sentences or what we call if sentences. For example, if you study well, you succeed. If you boil water, it evaporates. ونستعمل المضارع البسيط في الجمل الشرطية. مثلا إذا عملت جيدا تنجح. We also use the simple present to talk about the future after words like when, until, after, before, and as soon as. For example, I will call you when I arrive. We don't say when I will arrive. So when I arrive, not I will arrive. I will not go out until it stops raining. ونستعمل المضارع البسيط لنتحدث عن المستقبل بعد الكلمات التالية: when, until, after, before, as soon as. Watch and then practice. شاهد ثم طبق.
Hello there! We are going to learn simple present tense. The simple present tense is used for things that are general truth. It is also used for actions which are done often, usually, sometimes, or every day. For personal pronouns he, she, and it, we add s, es, and ies to the original form of the verb. For personal pronouns I, you, we, and they, we use the original form of the verb. Let us move on to understand simple present tense better. We use simple present tense to show general truth and facts. add s to the original form of the verb. Let's take a look at the following examples. The moon shines at night. Shine, shines. The earth moves around the sun. Move, moves. We add s to the original form of the verb when the verb is a habitual action or an action that is done often. Let's look at the examples. He walks to school every morning. Walk, walks. Asing sells fruits and drinks every afternoon. Sell, sells. We add ies to the original form of the verb when the verb ends with a y. She studies hard every night so that she can pass her exam. Study, studies. We add es to the original form of the verb when the verb ends with s, sh, ch, or o. Take a look at the examples. Tommy watches television every night. Watch, watches. He washes his car every week. Wash, washes. Jessica crosses that road every morning. Cross, crosses. My mother goes to the supermarket every Sunday. Go, goes. Now, let's go and take a look at some examples for the personal pronouns I, you, we, and they. When these pronouns appear, we cannot make changes to the verbs, so they remain in the original form. Look at the examples. They eat dinner at 6 p.m. every evening. Eat, eat. We drink orange juice every morning. Drink, drink. I walk to school with my friends every day. Walk, walk. Now, let us do an exercise together. Choose the correct verb in the present tense form to fill in the blank. His father goes to work by car every morning. She brushes her teeth every day. A tiger runs very fast. We sell vegetables every morning. He studies every night. Mr. Brian is a farmer. Every morning, he starts work when the sun shines brightly in the sky. Mr. Brian plants a lot of vegetables. Many people buy his fresh vegetables because he uses fertilizer. Every evening, Mr. Brian tidies up his workplace. And then he goes home in his old car. What are these words? These words are words in the present tense form that we can find in the story of Mr. Brian. Starts, shines, plants, buy, uses, tidies, goes. Let us do an exercise. Choose the correct verb in the present tense form. Tick the correct sentence. Every morning, the sun shines brightly. Mr. Brian starts work early in the morning. Mr. Brian uses fertilizer for his plants. Every evening, Mr. Brian tidies up his workplace. Mr. Brian goes home in his old car.
Answer the questions. أجب عن الأسئلة التالية. Complete with the words in the box. أكمل بالكلمات التالية التي في إطار